And now we're going to talk about paint results. Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel about building a kit car and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the notification buttons below. So, as you saw a few videos ago that I tried painting all the parts for my car, and not only did I not get to the final coat and clear coat and all that stuff, but I didn't even get through primer and I kind of gave up. I actually got the primer somewhat decently on the product, but I remember when I was at the paint shop and the guy was like, man, you don't need a gallon of primer. This cord or whatever is going to last like a long time. You know, it's going to go for a while. And I went through like 8 ounces within 2 coats, and I knew I was just blowing product out the door. The other thing was, you know, I tried to set myself up as best possible. So, you know, in the mornings when it's not windy and it's going to be still out, it's not going to be hot, and it's, you know, it's still hot, but it's not going to be 105 degrees. And as you can see from that video, it was anything but. It was super hot. The wind was blowing like crazy. You could see the plastic almost like a living, breathing organism underwater, like seaweed or something, flowing in water, waves of water. It's like the air was just moving around. And, you know, all the prep that went into that, you know, getting everything to hang and to hang all these parts, to wet down the ground, to, you know, plastic off the house, which was impossible by yourself. You know, it took me like 2 hours of prep just to get to the point where I'm actually pointing the gun at one of the parts. And at the end of the day, I was going through so much product, and the spray pattern I had looked perfect. I mean, I tested it, got it dialed in, but you know, either between my gun wasn't set up correctly, even though the pattern looked correct, or you know, I just didn't have enough CFM in my compressor. And so every time I hit that button, it was like psh, and blowing out too much product or something. So I don't really know, but I was smart enough to bail where I did, and you know, not go any further because it would have been even worse. And it was getting too hot. It was just getting too late in the day. So that was really disappointing. And you know, for me, I'm kind of sitting there going, well, you know, all these guns say that they need, you know, 13 CFM, 15 CFM, you know, minimum or whatever. And, you know, everybody I talk to is like, oh, don't worry about it. You know, 6 is good enough, whatever. And it's like, probably not. If it says it needs this, it probably needs this. So we'll see what happens. But I still need to sand these parts. And you can tell in the last video, I'm like, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm not going to sand these parts today. Like, I'm just annoyed at this point because it was just too much preparation for such an epic fail in my eyes. Don't get me wrong. There's primer on the products and there's something for me to sand, but it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. And I wanted to go all the way, like get it all primed, sand it that night, and then, or the next day, and then like prime, you know, paint it and clear coat it, you know, right afterwards in a 3-day period. But I was just like done. So it's just too windy, too chaotic. So I'll be looking for a booth, and I'll be calling one of my friends to see what we could do, and kind of go from there, and have him help me out, have him dial in the gun, because I'm just too new with this type of product to actually, you know, do it right on my own. In fact, I actually set the gun up just like a bunch of TV shows and stuff that I've watched, tutorials and stuff. They said this is the way you need to set up a gun. However, that's probably for painting, you know, clear coat on a car and not necessarily little tiny parts. Probably a totally different setup. And, you know, if I was doing furniture with my turbine setup that I normally use, I'd be fine. But with all my research, it didn't seem like I could do that with this product. So it is what it is, and I'm going to learn from it, move forward, and hopefully we're going to get these things painted really soon. Until next time, have a great day.